What's a subject that you used to kind of talk about with your parents when you were a teenager?
What?
Sex! Well, I guess we're going to talk. We're going to show you how to have that little talk with your teenagers. How many of you have teenagers? Nobody here has a teenager.
I do.
Lucky. Oh, a couple of you. Oh, well, thanks for coming here to Flagstaff High School. We have this night for parents. We know how difficult it is to speak to your kids about that moment in their lives when they choose to engage in intercourse. And we want to help you with that decision. I brought the counselor here, Jane.
Hi, it's great to be here.
Jane has seen a lot of the kids come through, pregnant women.
I've talked to a lot of your children about sex already. So
Actually, you there in the back, is that Thompson? We've talked to your daughter. She is pregnant. So this will help you out. So please, thanks for coming tonight. We really appreciate you guys coming. Jane, go ahead, take the first slide.
So, teaching your kids about sex can be a really stressful situation, right? Some parents like to equate it to robbing a bank. Your adrenaline's rushing, you're in your getaway car, you're trying to get out of it as fast as possible. And I'm really...
This is how I felt. I can tell you, when I first talked to my son, we stared straight ahead and I felt like I had pantyhose on my head. The most embarrassing thing is that when I said, hey, you know, are you and Katie, your girlfriend, are you thinking about that? My son reached underneath the seat and pulled out pantyhose and pulled it over. This is a literal, this happens.
Be real. But what we're here to tell you is just to stay calm, you know? You can get through it, you can take your time, it'll be fine.
And you know what, Jane doesn't like to say this, so I'm going to have to ask you to tell this. When I first met her and we talked about this problem at Flag High, you told me about the time you were driving with your father and the conversation and the way he talked about it to you.
Yes, and that is what our next slide deals with. So, we'll see here, yes. So, my father, we were driving in a car. I lived about half an hour away from the school that I went to. He picked me up one day. I had just started dating my first serious boyfriend. You know, things were moving forward, and he asked me, you know, Jane, are you being nutritious?
You know, I'm going to throw in a fact in here right now. You guys should understand that the more sugar that you see in these objects, the more likely your child is to engage in sexual behavior. 1 grams of sugar.
Yeah. So my father was a nutritionist, and he, of course, knew this fact.
Yeah.
Which is where the nutrition came from. That question was him trying to break it down for me, telling me in a way, starting with a question that was not, hey, are you having sex? Because that's, you know, that's not.
Because you were having sex at the time, right? It was a little late for the conversation.
We had that boat had sailed, and it was fine.
Can I just ask a question? I think that if we're going to have this personal conversation about sex, we should kind of share things a little bit. How many of you have had sex today? Okay, so to me, by the way, the rest of you, your lives suck. What'd you have for lunch, ma'am?
What did I have for lunch? A sandwich?
And what kind? Was it peanut butter and jelly or something? Or?
No, it was avocado and hummus.
No.
Oh, there's nutrition.
Breakfast? What'd you have for breakfast?
Oatmeal.
Oatmeal! Did you put any sugar on it? Yes?
Honey.
Honey. So what you should understand is there's a
Sugar equals the sugar.
There's a correlation between deviant sex and the more sugar you have. I know this may not be what you want to hear, but I got to tell you, there's so much sugar in our society right now that kids out there, they are not doing missionary anymore. Okay, let's just the more sugar they have. Would you like to talk about? You were just telling me this girl came into your office and was talking about. I've never even heard of that sexual position.
Yeah, well, they call it the begging position, and it starts a little something.
Actually, this is the begging position right here, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry about that. Some technical difficulties. You know how school gyms are.
Don't look at it. That's part of the begging position.
this young man right here.
Oh, yeah.
He knows our thought for this. Obviously, we don't want any
I'm
of
not
your
going to
kids
use
in
the
here.
pointer. Yeah, so the begging position, which is all the rage today in the high school, it starts like this, where someone pretends to be on the phone and the other person begs them to get off of it. And that just really sets the mood for all sorts of crazy shit. That's just what happens.
Notice the lower position, the proximity to the phallic region.
So
we want to give you a few tips, right, for how to deal with your child,
Yes.
how to start that subject. You want to start that?
Step one, tell your kids this is everything I know, alright? And for me, when I was talking to my daughter about it, I really made it clear that what I know is only it's one bubble, right? I'm inside one bubble and I know a certain amount. But there are other people out there who know another amount. Sometimes your bubbles become a Venn diagram and you understand similar things, and that works great. But sometimes they don't. It's like this situation here where you're rolling around on water and bumping into each other.
It's that Venn diagram where those two bubbles intersect, and that's where sex can occur.
Anything else on this?
No, I don't.
All right. Move into tip number 2.
Tip number 2. And this is something that helps ease the tension with your children. I would not recommend this, by the way, while you're driving. Okay?
No, it does not work in a car situation. But if you're at home, maybe at the dinner table,
when things get awkward, just say, look, now it's time for interpretive dance. There are some, depending on how close you are with your child and whether or not you're still married, you and your spouse may kind of act out some of those situations. Do a little bit of role playing.
Yep.
This is really great for your children to kind of get a sense for how it works in the real world. Next question.
Do you think you could maybe show us an example of
Jane, you want to take that?
I sure do. This is my favorite this is my favorite tact to employ while talking to my kids. So I'm sitting at the table with my son. He asked me, all right, Mom, so we're talking about sex, but I'm afraid to engage in sexual encounters because I actually don't know how to put on a condom. And you
This is my favorite, James.
pull out a banana and demonstrate in the same boring way that everyone does, right? Or you can engage in an interpretive dance. So you can make we are flying in the air. Take you.
We have one more tip. You want one more tip? And this is actually for all you fathers out there. Sometimes sons, it can be a little more explosive, can it?
Yeah.
If they get out of line, say, Dad, I don't need to know this shit. I know all about chicks. You just remember this, okay? Remember this. An important note of clarification, and then you punch them. Okay? You're going to get their attention.
Yeah.
So, can you guys remember those 3 tips? What was the first tip?
Everything I know.
Everything very good.
This is everything I know.
You probably got an A in school, didn't you? This is everything I know. That's the first thing you said. The second thing? Yes, remember that. It's a great technique.
Thank you all so much.
Well, I think we're leaving you. We just have one thing to tell you, right? Don't forget the wrap up here. Yeah, one more slide. So we just want to leave you with this.
When in doubt, when you feel like this goofy horse, you can put anything in that speech bubble. The kids are just going to black out everything you say.